Welcome to Her Subconscious Blueprint, your no BS space for subconscious healing, bold breakthroughs, and manifestation. I'm Jenn Boyt, hypnotherapist, mindset coach, and your new healing hype girl. So let's get real for a second. Have you ever felt like you were doing all the right things to attract more money? You're manifesting, you're budgeting, you're working hard, but still can't seem to get ahead. Like you're pushing the gas pedal in your car, but the parking brake is still on. That was me. I thought I was doing everything right, but something invisible was slowing me down. I couldn't figure out why money felt so hard to attract or hold on to. It wasn't until I was in this coaching course and we were working on blocks around money. And we were in a breakout session and someone said to me, maybe you have a money wound. I was like, a what? Like, yeah, maybe you have a money wound. I was like, a money wound? What is a money wound? So that pushed me to dig deeper. And I started asking questions and questioning why I felt this way about money. What are the roles that I've been living by? What subconscious beliefs have I been holding on to? Who taught me these roles? Are they even the truth? Once I started asking the right questions, I was actually kind of shocked. I was like, how could I have a money wound? Like, I grew up with money. Like, we didn't go without. We got what we wanted. But what I uncovered was huge. I had deep money wounds I didn't even know existed. And once I brought them to the surface, everything started to shift. My relationship with money changed. And I see this happening over and over again with people that I work with. If you're feeling anything like me and you're asking, what even is a money wound? Like, I've never heard of that. And maybe some of you have heard of a money wound. And maybe you're wondering, do I have one of those? How do I know? How do I get rid of it? Well, then babe, this is for you. The truth is, most of us do. Most people do have money wounds. And we usually don't even know it. These wounds are invisible stories that are running the show in our subconscious mind, quietly shaping how we earn, how we save, how we spend, even how we receive. And in fact, we even oftentimes attach our self-worth to it. If you've ever felt guilty for spending money or ashamed of your financial past or fearful about your future, or like no matter how hard you work, you're still stuck. You can't seem to earn past a certain amount. We are going to break down what a money wound is, how they show up in our lives, and how they impact your nervous system, and how to recognize them and begin healing them so you can shift into safety, trust, and abundance around money. Money wounds are emotional, energetic imprints created from your past. Often, these were created in childhood, and they almost always form before you were even aware that your beliefs were even being shaped. In most cases, they are passed down from your lineage, and they're formed before the age of 7. These wounds can sound like money always causes problems. People like me don't get rich. I'm just bad with money. If I have more, someone else might have less. Sometimes they form from hearing things like, money doesn't grow on trees. People with money think they're better than us. Or look at that rich bitch over there. Or maybe you watched your parents constantly stress or fight about money. Maybe you heard things growing up like, we can't afford that. I don't know where we're going to find the money. We need to find the money to pay the bills. And you heard that over and over and over again. Maybe you were raised to believe that money is evil, or that wealthy people are selfish, or maybe that wanting more means you're ungrateful. Maybe someone in your family hoarded money. They never spent it. They didn't trust the banks. That was actually my husband's experience. Maybe money was used as control. That was my experience, and I talk about that a little bit in episode 1. If I didn't behave a certain way, or maybe I talked back, money seemed like it could be taken away or used as a bribe. It didn't feel safe. I learned that money could disappear at any moment. And because of that, I subconsciously avoided receiving. I constantly gave because that felt safer. I had more control over that. I had more control over giving than receiving. No one could take that away from me. I didn't have to behave a certain way. I didn't have to do certain things. I also had the belief that if I had too much money, I might become like him, the person who used to use money to control me. So I subconsciously kept it at arm's length without even knowing it. Even though it was sabotaging me, that belief ran the show for years without me even knowing it. That's the sneaky thing with our beliefs. They're there to protect us and keep us safe, which worked when we were a child. But when we become an adult, if we don't recognize those, they actually become our limiting beliefs. They become the things that hold us back. So these beliefs, they don't just come from family. They can come from religion, community, culture, society. Maybe you were told it's not spiritual to want more. Maybe you believe that being broke made you more authentic. Maybe you think wealth is for other people. But here's the truth. Money wounds don't care how much money you grew up with. I had a very comfortable upbringing, and I still had deep money wounds. It's not about the amount of money. It's about the beliefs that you have attached to it. Even if you're taking all the right steps, you're saving, you're investing, you're visualizing, if your subconscious is holding on to a wound, it will block the flow no matter what. It will create limits. You'll keep hitting an income ceiling. An unexpected bill will automatically show up the second you get more money. You'll get ahead and then your car breaks. Your water heater goes out. So, how do you know if you have money wounds? Well, everyone's experience is unique. Money wounds do tend to fall in just a few categories. You have the scarcity wound. That typically shows up as a constant fear that there's never enough. Even if your current reality says otherwise, you might feel anxious when spending. You might hoard money out of fear that it won't come back. There's the worthiness wound. This wound connects your value to your income. You might struggle to charge what you're worth or feel uncomfortable receiving more than just enough. And then there's the safety wound. This is rooted in financial trauma. If you've ever experienced or witnessed serious consequences due to money, like housing insecurity or food scarcity, your nervous system might associate money with survival, creating hypervigilance or deep anxiety. The visibility wound, that develops when money made you stand out in painful ways. Maybe you were bullied for being poor or judged for having more. So success feels really unsafe and you stay small to stay hidden. Now, beyond the wounds, there's also patterns that play out in our day-to-day lives, and oftentimes without us even realizing it. Some of the most common patterns include the caretaker. This is where you prioritize everything and everyone else's needs before yours. You feel guilty when investing in yourself. That was me. I relate to this one. I loved giving, but felt shame and fear around receiving. And because of that, I subconsciously blocked abundance. I told myself it was nice in giving, but it really was just fear. The avoider is the type of pattern that you don't want to look at your finances. You avoid your bank account. You feel overwhelmed by the idea of managing money. That avoidance, it's not laziness. Again, it's fear. If you don't look, you don't have to feel the guilt or the shame. Then there's the controller. The controller is the type of pattern where you tightly grip your finances. You're afraid of losing what you've built. You oftentimes are afraid to spend money because they don't know when they're going to get more. The rebel, you resist structure, seeing it as limitations or control, and spend impulsively as a form of freedom. There's the under-earner. You stay small. You don't ask for more money. You don't ask for more. You avoid promotions because deep down, you don't believe you're worthy of more. And we all know that pattern of the overspender. You use money to feel better temporarily. You spend to soothe, to prove, or to belong. Maybe you tie your worth to your image. Maybe you think if you have all the right things, you finally feel like you belong in society or that you're successful. It's kind of like the keeping up with the Jones mentality. And the last pattern I want to cover is the warrior. The warrior is living in constant anxiety about financial securities, regardless of the actual circumstance itself. These patterns, they came from somewhere, and identifying yours is actually the first step in healing. But remember this truth. Patterns are not personality. You can choose new financial behaviors that align with your truest desires. There's 4 things that you can start to do today to figure out what pattern or patterns that you fall into. First, identify your core money pattern that we talked about. Remember, this is the caregiver, the avoider, the controller, the rebel, the under-earner, the overspender, and the warrior. Second, reflect on how this pattern has both served you and limited you. All patterns have a dichotomy. All of them have both perspective and restrictive aspects. So the first step is recognizing them. And third, write down 3 specific ways that this pattern could be showing up in your current financial life. And finally, just choose one small pattern interruption to practice this week. For example, say you're the avoider. Try just checking your account for 2 minutes a day. Or if you're the controller, allow yourself one unbudgeted, joy-based purchase this week. Maybe you're the caretaker. Prioritize one financial act of self-care before helping others. Like, go get that massage, girlfriend. Now, if you're able to create a healthy relationship with money, like, what if you loved money like you loved a partner? Well, I can tell you that this simple mindset shift is a game changer. This will change everything for you. Because when you start to love money, like truly love money, money will love you back. So let me ask you a question. This question was asked to me, and this is kind of where things started shifting for me. If money was a person, how have you been treating it? Would it feel loved? Would it feel appreciated? Would it feel respected? Or would it feel ignored and feared and pushed away and all the icky feelings? You know, most people treat money like a toxic ex, really. Like they're stressing about it. They're complaining about it. They're saying, there's never enough. You're never here when I need you. And then they wonder why it doesn't stick around. Here's the truth. If you don't love money, it's not going to love you back. If you're constantly saying, I never have enough, money hears that and it walks away. But when you treat money like a valued partner with love, trust, respect, appreciation, and gratitude, it starts to show up for you in ways you never imagined. Money is energy, and it responds to how you treat it. So ask yourself, when you spend money, do you thank it? Or do you panic and cling on to it? Are you that clingy girlfriend? Why don't you try talking to money like it's your partner and saying things like, thank you for showing up for me, or I trust you'll always take care of me. There's this word that I like to use to thank my money. It's arigato. And in Japan, they say arigato. It means thank you to money as a practice of gratitude. So what if you started doing the same thing? Because spending isn't losing. Again, money is energy. It's circulating. Energy cannot be destroyed nor created, only circulated. You are supporting businesses and families and livelihoods. And when you give with gratitude, you open up the door to receiving with abundance. So maybe, just maybe, this is where your shift begins. This is an easy shift. So you might be relating to all of this and be wondering like, okay, how do I heal it now? I do recognize some of these patterns. I maybe do have a money wound. Well, this is how we can start to heal them. These are the 5 steps that I use in coaching my clients to heal their money wounds. The first thing, it's just awareness. Start paying attention to your emotional reactions around money. Do you fear checking your bank account? Do you have guilt when you spend on yourself? Just notice. No judgment, only awareness. We're not judging these behaviors and patterns. We're only bringing awareness to them. Second, find the origin. Ask yourself, where did I learn this belief? Who said that money was bad, or that I wasn't enough, or that I couldn't be wealthy? Was it your parents, grandparents, teacher, a past partner? Bring that voice to the surface. And when you do, it loses its power. Third, normalize the wound. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. These wounds are incredibly common. Your nervous system is doing its job. It's trying to protect you. That's not failure. That's survival. And you can shift it. So thank them for coming up. Fourth, you want to rewrite the story. Introduce a new belief. Even if it feels stretchy, say it out loud. I am safe to receive. I am worthy of wealth. It is safe for me to have more than enough. These wounds were likely formed, like I said, before the age of 7, which means they've had decades to run the show. But your brain is plastic. It can be remolded, and it has the ability to rewire itself. With enough repetition, these new beliefs will become your truth. And fifth, use subconscious tools like journaling, hypnosis, emotional release work, and nervous system regulation. These are tools that help you feel safe around money. Because here's what I want you to remember. Money wounds, they're not about how much money you make or how much money you have. They're about what your subconscious believes you're allowed to have. They shape how you earn, how you spend, how you save, how you receive, and even how you feel about yourself. But you can heal them. There is such powerful work in identifying these inherited patterns. This awareness is the foundation for lasting change, and it all starts with awareness, with compassion, constant subconscious rewiring. It takes time. It's deep work, and it takes practice and repetition, but I can guarantee you, if you stick with it, it will absolutely change your relationship with money. But since you're here and you're listening to this, I know you're ready. You've just been carrying a story that isn't yours. And starting today, you get to rewrite a new one. I'm so happy you're here. It was no accident that you found this podcast. If you're feeling called to go deeper and you're ready to finally rewire those old money stories, I have a powerful resource just for you. It's called Magnetic Money. It's a self-guided hypnosis to attracting more abundance. This isn't just about mindset. It's about shifting your subconscious at the root so you become a natural magnet for wealth. You can grab it right now through the link in the show notes and start reprogramming your energy for more ease, flow, overflow, and abundance. And let the transformation begin. This is her subconscious blueprint, and it's only the beginning. You're healing your abundance and your power. I am so full of love and gratitude to share my story with you. And I hope in some small way it inspired you to follow your heart's desire, because there are bigger things for you out there. And remember, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. So go out and be that person today. That's it for me. Much love. See you next time.